Hendriksen. How to Be Enough. Self-acceptance for self-critics and perfectionists. Are you tired of chasing perfection? On the surface, perfectionism might look like ambition, discipline, or a strong work ethic. But underneath, it often hides a constant feeling of not being good enough. It can push you hard, but it also wears you out, holds you back, and keeps you stuck in fear and self-doubt. In today's video, we'll take you through a simple, step-by-step approach to letting go of that need to be perfect and help you reconnect with who you really are. You'll discover how perfectionism is often driven by a harsh inner voice, the one that tells you you're never doing enough or being enough. But what if you could change that voice? Not silence it, but soften it. Shift from constant self-criticism to gentle self-compassion without losing your edge. We'll explore practical tools from psychology to help you. Stop comparing yourself to others. Move past procrastination and people-pleasing. Let go of unrealistic standards and start showing up as your authentic self. This isn't about lowering your goals. It's about dropping the pressure to be flawless. Because here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect to be valuable. You don't need to impress anyone to be enough. And you don't need to fix everything before you start living fully. If you're ready to trade burnout for clarity, pressure for peace, and fear for freedom, stick around. Let's break the cycle of perfectionism and start living with purpose, confidence, and authenticity. Chapter 1. The Perfectionist Trap. Most people think perfectionism means aiming for perfect results, but at its core, it's about feeling like you're never good enough. It often starts with wanting to do things well, a trait called conscientiousness. But when that desire turns into constant self-criticism, it becomes perfectionism. Instead of celebrating your wins, you focus on what's wrong. Even when you meet your high standards, you raise them again. If you fall short, you see it as a personal failure. Your inner critic plays a big role. It pushes you to be better, but in harsh and unrealistic ways. It tells you that others have it worse, so your feelings don't count. It compares you to others and tells you that you're behind. It insists you should be doing more, achieving more, and being more. Why do we keep listening to this voice? Sometimes it feels like a shield. You think if you criticize yourself first, others can't hurt you. Or maybe you believe that being hard on yourself will push you to improve. At times, self-criticism feels like humility. Other times, it feels like control. If the mistake is yours, you can fix it. Take Elena, a skilled software developer. She works late every night, fixing tiny issues in her code that no one else notices. To her, each mistake is proof she doesn't belong. But this constant pressure doesn't help her grow. It isolates her and robs her of confidence. The truth is, you can still aim high without beating yourself up. With a few mindset shifts, you can replace harsh judgment with kindness and stress with real satisfaction. You'll learn to let go of mistakes, focus on what matters, and feel okay just as you are. Being enough doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real. Chapter 2. Calming the Inner and Outer Critic. Many of us believe self-criticism will help us grow, but it often does the opposite. Constant pressure to be perfect kills motivation, raises stress, and can even make your work worse. It also builds a wall between you and others, making connection harder. Here's a better way. Self-compassion. It means being kind to yourself, just like you'd be to a friend who's struggling. Mistakes, doubts, and setbacks are part of being human. Accepting this makes you feel more connected, not alone. Self-compassion is more than a feeling. It's a practice. It might look like taking a break without guilt, letting go of an unrealistic to-do list, or simply enjoying your morning coffee without rushing. It's doing small things that bring peace, like gardening, gentle movement, or anything that makes you feel alive. Take Michiko, for example. She hosts amazing dinner parties but can't take a compliment. When guests praise her dumplings, she points out flaws. She thinks this shows humility, but it actually creates distance. People feel awkward, and few open up in return or invite her back. Perfectionism doesn't stop with ourselves. It often spills onto others. We hold those closest to us, partners, kids, coworkers, to higher standards than strangers. This makes relationships tense. We want to help them do better, but our criticism drives them away. The goal isn't to drop all standards. It's to notice when you're being harsh and choose a softer response. With awareness, you can pause and respond with kindness to yourself and to others. This shift from judgment to compassion is powerful. It's the first step toward real growth, deeper relationships, and true self-acceptance. The perfectionist voice may resist, but over time you'll see. Kindness brings the very growth you've been chasing. Chapter 3. Letting values lead instead of rules. Perfectionism often comes with an inner rule book. You might find yourself thinking, I have to, I must, or I should. These thoughts feel like orders from a strict voice in your head, leaving little room for flexibility. But you don't have to live by rigid rules. There's another way. Values. Values are not about what you must do, but about what matters to you. They give direction and purpose. Values can include things like creativity, kindness, learning, connection, or helping others. To find your values, think back to moments when you felt truly alive. Maybe it was helping someone in need, working on a creative project, or teaching something you love. These moments reveal what's meaningful to you. But be careful. Perfectionism can turn values into rules. If you value generosity, it might turn into, I must say yes to everyone. If you value excellence, it might become, I can never make a mistake. The key difference is that values feel chosen, while rules feel forced. Also, your self-worth shouldn't depend on how well you follow rules or how much you achieve. When you base your value on performance, like being perfect at work, sticking to a diet, or acting a certain way, you'll eventually feel like you're falling short. Let your values, not rules, guide your choices. Stay present. Ask yourself, what do I want to do based on what I care about most? This shift changes pressure into purpose. Living by values helps you aim for excellence while being kind to yourself. It helps you move from needing approval to living with honesty and heart. You don't have to be perfect, just true to what matters most. Chapter 4. How to beat perfectionist procrastination. Perfectionism often tricks us into thinking everything must be flawless. One small mistake can feel like a disaster. This pressure can leave you frozen, either avoiding important tasks or obsessing over tiny details that don't really matter. You might end up deep cleaning your desk instead of finishing that overdue report. Here's the truth. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's emotional. We avoid tasks not because we're careless, but because they make us feel anxious, unsure, or not good enough. Delaying them gives quick relief, but it also builds guilt and makes the task feel even harder later. To break this cycle, start with kindness toward yourself. Studies show that people who forgive themselves for procrastinating are more likely to take action next time. Treat yourself like a friend, not a failure. Next, shrink the task. Don't aim to write a report. Start with open the laptop or write one sentence. Your inner perfectionist might scoff, but small steps cut through emotional resistance. They're easy to start, and starting is the hardest part. Another trick? Imagine your future self. Picture how you'll feel tonight or next week if you take one tiny step now. This helps build empathy with your future self and makes it harder to keep delaying. Take Kanika, a graphic designer who spent nights tweaking minor details. She was stuck in a loop of fixing flaws she thought made her work unworthy. But after talking with her mentor, she began to pause and notice what was actually good in her work. Her mindset shifted. She wasn't failing, she was just stuck looking for problems. Progress isn't about perfection, it's about motion. Every small, imperfect step matters. Be kind to yourself, start tiny, and trust that you're moving forward. Chapter 5. Stop comparing. Start being you. Perfectionism often hides behind two habits: comparing yourself to others and trying to control your emotions. Both seem like they'll keep you safe, but they often leave you feeling disconnected from others and yourself. Comparison shows up in two ways. You might look down on others to feel better or look up at them and feel worse. Either way, you're stuck in a loop of judging, measuring, and missing out on real connection. Want to break free? Start by getting curious. Notice when you compare and pause. That coworker who nails every presentation? Maybe they've been practicing for years. That parent who seems so effortless? They might be hiding their own struggles. The more you understand the full picture, the less you'll make snap comparisons. The same goes for your emotions. Many people believe they always have to stay calm, cheerful, or in control, especially in public. Some think certain feelings like anger or sadness aren't allowed, but emotions aren't problems to fix. Trying to manage them all the time is like trying to control the weather, pointless and tiring. You don't need to swing to the other extreme. Start small. In your next conversation, let your face show a little more of how you really feel, just 20% more. See what shifts. That's what Marcus did. He was always the positive guy at work, but felt drained and disconnected. He started small, less scrolling, more joy. He let himself show how he felt, little by little. That honesty helped him connect with others and feel less alone. This shift isn't about being unfiltered all the time. It's about being real, messy, human. When you stop chasing perfection, you open the door to honest relationships and a deeper sense of self. Conclusion. Thanks for sticking around. So, what did we really learn from this chapter of How to Be Enough by Hendriksen? Perfectionism isn't about being your best. It's about never feeling good enough, no matter what you do. That inner critic, it's loud, harsh, and unfair. But here's the twist. Research shows being kind to yourself actually helps you do better and feel better. Self-compassion isn't weakness. It's power with softness. Next time you feel stuck following some strict inner rule, pause. Ask yourself, what actually matters to me? Your core values are better guides than any unrealistic standard. Let them help you make choices in real time, with a little more ease and flexibility. If you struggle with procrastination, try this. Take one tiny step, just one. Even the smallest action creates momentum. And when things feel pointless, imagine your future self. What would they thank you for? Finally, stop trying to be perfect all the time. You don't need to compare your insides with someone else's outside. You're not a robot, you're human, real, messy, beautiful. Let yourself feel, not fake. That's where confidence grows, not from being flawless, but from being honest. If this helped you rethink a few things, let me know in the comments. Hit like if it clicked with you, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that they're already enough. And if you're on a journey to feel a little more whole, a little more you, don't forget to subscribe. More reflections like this are coming your way. See you in the next one. Until then, be kind to yourself. You deserve it.